what's going on, guys? So for this video, I figured we would take a step back from the theories and just go over the lore for our new nightmarish character. I mean, seriously, this guy looks like he's straight out of Little Nightmares. This may be the most unique slash most grotesque killer the realm has ever seen. In a separate video, I will cover the abilities and perks. I will also be doing a lot more lore heavy videos, as I myself am personally interested in learning more about the realm that the entity has created. If you think the video is kind of litty, then consider leaving a little likey like. Maybe a little subby sub. Alright, on with the lore. This is the official Dead by Daylight lore slash background origins of the unknown. Olivia's master's thesis was on urban legends and their origin. She believed they shared similarities with traditional folklore and picked one to illustrate her point. The unknown was believed to be a mysterious evil so heinous that even investigating it was almost immediately inviting death. At least that's how the story went. And there were many stories. One story was of a woman in Greenville who disappeared without a trace on stage in front of a room full of witnesses. Her friend disappeared weeks later while trying to investigate what happened. The police were stumped. They had no clues, no leads, and that mystery created the perfect storm for amplifying and spreading an urban legend. We also have footage here of the Greenville map that we are also getting with this chapter. This chapter seems to be tied with Michaela, and from the latest teaser video, we can kind of see the stage that's being referred to here, and the friend that's going missing as they are walking towards the door of the fog. Alright, back to the lore. Instead of going back home for spring break, Olivia headed to Greenville to investigate. She drove to the second cheapest motel in town and began to set up in a small room that smelled of cigarette smoke, mold, and booze. She turned one wall into a kind of evidence board. She taped up articles and various theories on similar disappearances attributed to the unknown throughout the country. She made connections with Red String. Anyone walking into the motel room would think she had lost her mind. There were many theories as to the unknown's origin. Some said it was a malevolent entity conjured long ago by an ancient cult. Others believed it to be an alien that escaped from Area 51. Legend was, it thrived in the darkness and stole the voices of those it consumed, so as to lure others to their doom. So our boy is a very very fucked up looking mimic. Continue. The first newspaper articles Olivia found referenced a disappearance at a seance held in the late 1950s. Several college students mysteriously disappeared from a movie theater. Witnesses saw them go inside. Some remembered seeing them in their seats, but when the lights came up, they were gone. No one saw them leave. No trace of them was ever found. A projectionist claimed to have heard voices in the empty darkness of the theater later that night. But when he turned on the lights, no one was there. Then, in the 1960s, a group of teens disappeared while exploring an abandoned hospital, believed to be haunted. Stories and speculation arose to explain these mystifying disappearances. Some talked about a top-secret government research program run by the Office of Strategic Services in the 1950s, deemed Project Apple Pie. Mind control experiments using hallucinogenic drug, aka Project Ultra. Most of the records were destroyed in the 70s, but witnesses claim that experiments were performed on unsuspecting civilians in various settings and locations throughout the country, including movie theaters, hospitals, and universities. Many believe these unethical experiments opened doorways to other dimensions, which allowed evil things to enter the world. Was it an evil entity, an extraterrestrial, a failed government experiment, or just a garden variety serial killer allergic to publicity? She wanted to prove the unknown was nothing more than modern day folklore, and that investigation led here to this night, to this place, to this shabby motel room. Yet she couldn't help but notice the disappearances in Greenville included one detail the other stories did not: the fog. And then she half remembered another urban legend with a thick, unnatural fog that somehow made people disappear. Maybe, she mused, the Greenville disappearances did not relate to the unknown, but some other darkness. For a moment, Olivia wondered what would happen if one urban legend encountered another. She laughed at the idea and tempted fate by sketching a picture of what she thought the unknown might look like. Then she pinned the sketch right in the middle of her evidence board, laughed nervously, and waited to be consumed by the unknown for having tried to define it. Anxiously, she stared at the windows and front door for seconds that turned to minutes, and minutes that turned to hours, but nothing happened. Now it was after 2 a.m. and Olivia was exhausted, as she examined the articles and sipped some cold coffee. So when she first heard the whisper, she wondered if she'd imagined it. Olivia. It seemed to come from the bathroom. Help. The lights in the room flickered. Who's there? Olivia stared with wide eyes at the closed door of the bathroom. Her mind was playing tricks on her, or her friends had shown up to prank her. Ariella? Sean? Stop messing around. The lights continued to flicker as she edged closer to the bathroom. Fear spread in long waves through her, and a terrible realization bloomed within her that the unknown was behind the bathroom door, was preparing to make her pay for her hubris, her pride. Something began to whisper her name again, but then the voice rose, cracked, and distorted in sudden panic as if the brooding creature behind the door were under attack. An unknown horror filled Olivia's heart and left room for nothing else. She breathed deeply as cold sweat beaded on her forehead. She placed her hand on the doorknob. The lights turned off, but she could still hear the strangely inhuman cries. Then the lights turned back on, and she could see a strange black fog seeping through the bottom of the door. Hesitantly, Olivia creaked the door open to see a bulky shape with frenzied tentacles being pulled into a thick mass of fog, vanishing slowly into the darkness like a dying shadow. The shrieking stopped suddenly. Neighbors banged on the wall to turn down the TV, and Olivia stared intently at the black abyss that yawned before her. She was not sure what to do. Part of her wanted to run, but the other part wanted to know more. And as she considered what to do next, dozens of voices began to call out to her with promises of the unknown and the impossible and unearthly things beyond human experience. That is our backstory, origin story / full lore of the unknown. Now, I do want to go over a pretty cool summary that I found here on Reddit, and this is by user SoulScribed. The monster is essentially an info hazard, meaning it's dangerous to understand or have knowledge of. It's an entity of unknown history that mimics voices to lure people, but we do not know what it does to people. It is summoned by knowing about it and what it's caused in the past. If you try to understand it, it's gonna come for you. It seems, however, that its origins are clandestine in nature, given its power description referencing the SCP Foundation alongside American government projects. This reference is made through the use of the power description. The hard part is that the lore is told from the perspective of a researcher who confused / intertwined the unknown's history and information with the entity's history and how the fog takes people, because the events seem similar to the untrained eye. Since this researcher was accidentally studying both the unknown and entity, they were both summoned into the researcher's bathroom. The entity then took our new killer into the fog. So there you have it. All things wicked, the unknown, is our new killer. Olivia is our new survivor with ties to Michaela that we will further explore in the Olivia video. And as a quick side note, the unknown is a being beyond understanding, though many have tried, which now makes a lot more sense with the lore. Its personal perks, unbound, unforeseen, and undone, allow it to move quicker, put its terror radius on a generator, and deplete the repair progress. And one more quick side note here that is pretty damn interesting to me. The unknown will speak to the player when it's selected as the killer to play at. You also get voice lines as the survivor when playing against the unknown. And the voice lines and just noises that it makes overall are pretty disturbing. So we have a real supernatural killer here, which is always super exciting to me. Definitely the creepiest in my opinion. I would definitely put him up there with the Dredge, who is my main and personal favorite. And based on seeing his teleportation skill, again, I'll cover his perks and abilities in another video, although I'm sure you guys may have already seen it. But overall, he just seems to be a super interesting character. But that's going to do it on this video. Again, if you guys are interested in seeing more lore videos, I'm pretty much going to go ahead and start from backwards with the newest to oldest killers and survivors. So my next one, of course, will be Olivia, and then we will continue from there. So if that sounds like something you guys would be interested, make sure you go ahead and like the video, share it, as it does help it perform in the algorithm. But other than that, guys, you can catch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/daytriptv_. And if I don't see you guys in the fog, then I will see you in the next video. Alright, see ya.